And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Captain Patrick, Barry the boater, rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information and reflect on the Discover Boating Miami International Boat Show. We still have more coverage from that massive event, the Super Bowl of dive shows. It just happened a couple weeks ago. Barry and Patrick were on site. Barry, took control and took a recorder down there and played Man on the Street, or slightly effeminate Man on the Street. I don't know what it was, but he did you did a good job. I'm trying to compliment you, Barry. So don't get too defensive.
And I got to correct you, Greg, because this was the Super Bowl of boat shows, not dive shows.
Oh, okay. Well,
I hate it when I'm probably sure sometimes during Just Plane Radio today, you said down at Miami, the Super Bowl of plane shows.
Yeah.
But this was all about boating, sir.
Well, people could have referred to it like that if they want. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me one way or another. Yeah, but it is hard to keep all the three shows.
Yeah, darn facts
straight.
and truth.
Well, no, I mean, people understand. We have Scuba Radio, we have World of Boating, we have Just Plane Radio. Sometimes, my head is up in the sky.
Yeah, we know where it's at.
Under the water, and sometimes it's floating on top of a vessel. So we'll try to stay focused on the vessel. But back to Barry, because he did, he took his recorder down there. He talked to, it was Mark at Novalex, right?
Yes,
for the electric boat guy.
Yep.
So
and this is a picture of the boat.
Yeah, Patrick, I don't believe has heard this interview. I haven't either, so we're just going to go right to the tape.
I was only right there.
Well, but you didn't hear the final product, how it came out. So let's see.
After you edited it.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to make Barry sound as good as possible. So let's see how he did.
Okay, Greg, we are on a boat. We're actually on a sailing yacht that is propulsed by electricity and the wind. We're here with
Mark Hawkshurst with Novalux Yachts, and I'm representing the Ocean Renegade brand. They were a South African builder, and they're bringing some boats over to the U.S., and they're performance sailors.
So tell us a little bit about this boat. Just give it a quick background of size and what it can do.
So this is a 54-foot long by 25-foot wide, 40% carbon build. Everything structural is carbon fiber. It's the lightest boat on this dock. That includes the HH50, that includes the Kinetic. So what we have is the Torpedo Deep Blue system, two 25-kilowatt sail drives, and everything on this boat is run off battery power. So you don't turn the generator on for anything on board. It all runs off inverters. This boat was designed by a young couple with two children who want to surf Indonesia, and they wanted to be out there for months at a time. This boat will sail in extremely light winds. Everything that's put on this boat is weighed before it's put on this boat. It's at 11.2 tons, less than 25,000 pounds wet. It has about 2.4 kilowatts of solar. It has a 8 kilowatt house bank and a 42 kilowatt battery bank for the propulsion system.
Let's say you're out there in the water and you have very light winds, so you're trying to run off electricity, but you have a full sun out there. So how far can you go before you have a problem?
So this boat will do about 25 nautical miles on battery power alone. The 2.4 kilowatt solar array, let's say it adds about 2 kilowatts every hour. Again, you're not going to motor for an endless amount of time. In that case, the generator will kick on and you have over 6 knots for as much fuel as you have on board, at least 600 nautical miles. So you're not losing out on range on a typical day. On 98% of the time, you're just going to be using the batteries, plug into shore power at night. But again, you always have power when you need it.
And you have a sail here too, so you can sail this boat. And really, if you're only stuck in the doldrums somewhere, for 3 weeks at a time, then you kick in the electric.
Absolutely. This boat is designed to sail in very light winds. It does 10 knots in 10 knots of wind. We, on our way from Tampa to Miami, hit 17 knots, and it is very stable. It is not like the production boats where you're at 12 knots thinking this thing's going to fall apart. This thing goes very fast in light winds.
Well, this is a beautiful boat. We're going to take a quick tour of it. They are really busy today. You have engineers, designers from other boat manufacturers want to check this boat out. So I'm going to cut this short. We're going to go take a walk. Thank you, Mark. I hope you had a nice time here in Miami.
Excellent. Thanks for stopping by. I look forward to coming back on the show.
All right, Mark. You're welcome anytime. And, hey, I think Barry did a good job. Patrick, what do you think? That was pretty good coverage.
I think he did. And surprisingly, Barry, I don't think he had to produce or edit too much of that because it sounded pretty much what I heard.
Yeah. And considering how busy he was, I mean, we thought it would be quiet there, but they just kept having people come in. We want to talk to you about this.
Well, that's what I was
Right.
kind of expecting from Greg, knowing how he likes to craft and create and mold these things. That I was expecting that he would have, all that ambient background noise would have been taken out.
No, that's called atmosphere. You're supposed to leave that in, Patrick.
Oh, okay.
That's not what you told me when you were editing my plays 5 years ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You mean
But
the hand
regardless,
clapping and-
no, I think he did a good job. There was a little editing going on there, but it's subtle. You don't know what was edited, but it takes a little time. But that's fine. He did a good job. I mean, asking the right questions and talking to Mark. Mark, we've had him on the show before. He's a pretty nice guy. But you guys really like the boat, though, overall too, right?
Yeah. I thought that would be a great boat to permanently live on. If you wanted to give up living on land, it would work out really nice.
Right, but you didn't ask him to give it to you. That's where you failed miserably.
Yeah, I know that. And 2.1 million. Well, let's see if my lotto numbers come in tonight.
It's called financing, Barry. Come on, you're an accountant in real life.
No.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
no.
Just be aware that type of living on board, it's a different type of boating from a monohull sailboat to that twin cat. In some aspects, it's better. In some, when you get into that type of lifestyle, you got to look at, the bare basics. What do we need?
Well, yeah, but with with a cat like that, you got more room than a monohull, though.
No, not necessarily.
That's what I'm saying, Greg.
Depends on how big the what do you call
middle area
spot. No, well, the middle area was more like a living area,
right?
But this was a 3-bedroom, so one side was completely master suite, and the other side was 2 suites with its own bathroom.
Yeah.
If it were something for me, then what I would have is the master suite, and the other side would be part storage and part repair station or repair area.
Okay.
Something like.
But in the cats, I think you have more workable space and livable space than you do on a monohull. You don't agree with me on that, Patrick?
Not when you look at the square footage of what's available, what you have when you walk in a boat like the one we were on, and not taking it. It's a different style, and you think that, we're going to have so much more room. But when you walk into the salon area of this, you've got a dining area to starboard, which is where Barry and Mark were doing their interview.
Right.
You've got a kitchenette to the port
side,
and then directly ahead, you've got your entry points to the port and starboard hull sponsons, and directly ahead of that is your entry to the foredeck and your propulsion navigation station. That's it.
Well, but in a monohull, it's the same exact thing, just more squished together, isn't it?
I think you have to look at the interior square footage. If they, the front of this boat had that netting. Have you seen? These are a lot of these.
I love these designs. I think this is.
I'm not. I don't want you to think that I don't like it. What I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying that. But I think you get more room on a cat than you would on a monohull.
I don't believe so, because when you go into the port and starboard hulls or sponsons, those are long but very, very narrow. They're on this particular one.
Yeah.
They're not as wide as what you would find on, say, a 15-foot beam monohull sailboat, or a 20-foot beam monohull sailboat. It's not. I like cats because I like the stability,
right?
And the versatility.
I always thought he was a dog person myself, but okay.
Okay, but it's a different type of lifestyle when you go and this is going to be something that we're going to live on, because you have to strip down your possessions to what do we absolutely positively have to have,
the bare necessities,
Well, it's your
versus-
boat. You can just walk around naked. You don't even need clothes.
Well,
you know.
I understand what you're saying, Patrick, and you're right. You have to, if you're going to live on this thing, you can't be a collector of stuff. Everything
Well,
that's
I
on the
think
boat has to be-
that goes across any boat you want to live on, though, pretty much. I just love the open air feel of a cat, and maybe it's just me. All right, well, more coming up on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Even Keatley wasn't ready for me, or anything that followed. Chased by a police department, led by his ex-girlfriend, and hunted by brain fork-wielding Fijian assassins, it's everything he can do to keep from getting locked up, killed, or worse. Kava Screw is available as an ebook for $2.99 at Amazon.com. Kava Screw. Put a brain fork in him. He's done.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
The word ship is hidden inside the word leadership as its derivation. So, if this office is in fact a ship, as its leader, I am the captain. But we're all in the same boat.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Captain, please, can you see my fire? Message in a bottle, starboard side.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Captain Patrick Barry, the boater, rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information. All right, whether it's a monohull or catamaran, whatever type of boat you want to live on, I guess it's up to you. I guess, I have a great room plan in my home. And one of the reasons that we got this particular design is because, you walk in the front door of the house and you kind of have that kind of open air feel. It's not necessarily bigger square footage than a comparable, dwelling. But because you have that great room when you walk in it, the house kind of seems bigger than it really is. And that's kind of how I feel about a cat. So
And the taller ceilings, yeah.
And the taller ceiling, yeah, exactly. But, it's that open air kind of vibe. You know what I memean?
Well, that's why if you notice on this catamaran, a third of the bow is just netting where you just lay there and soak up the sun.
Exactly. You could call it netting. You could call it on the water hammock. I love those things. You tend to have more deck space on a catamaran than you would a monohull too, because of that.
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
And you'll see those for rental in a lot of the islands.
Yes. So I don't know. That's my preference, but whether there's more square footage or not, I don't know. Maybe it's just, like I said, the feeling
Well,
you
they'll
get.
trail this over to your house and put it in your backyard.
Okay, right after you buy it for me, Barry. Get to work.
Sure.
All right.
I'll put $1 down.
Okay, so we have some other boating stuff, or do we want to get to this new contraption I found this week, Patrick? What say you?
No, we've got boating stuff, and we're going to try to put that contraption off to the very, 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 very end of this year.
Okay.
But
this year? Wait a minute. No, this week.
I can't believe he caught that.
Yeah. No, it's a thing. I mean, it came across my radar. It's an all-in-one. Maybe it's a game changer for the boating camper and bicyclist, out there. So
go ahead, Greg.
That's coming up. We'll save it for later, but let's cover the rest of the the boat show news, because we have some stuff we got to still wade through, right?
This is true. One of those things, speaking about the interview that Barry so expertly conducted with Mark Hawkshurst from Novolux, if you go to the World of Boating Facebook page or worldofboating.com right now, run, don't walk, get those fingers moving, you will see exclusive video from the Miami Beach boat show.
Totally unedited, by the way.
Totally unedited. And it's actually in this never before released scene from Speed 3, the Miami connection. Captain Patrick has taken control of the shuttle bus after Barry pointed out that fine, upstanding Miami citizen that was peeing in public in broad daylight.
Now, who was Sandra Bullock? You or Barry?
That was the woman that wasn't on camera.
Yeah, but
I was just giving the play-by-play.
If you, like I said, run, don't walk right now to worldofboating.com or World of Boating on Facebook. If you ever needed a reason to like us on Facebook, this video is it. So be sure to check that out. Now, speaking of the Miami Boat Show, this is our week for wrap up. And then we can talk about what do we got? About 44 weeks until the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, Greg?
Okay,
Something
we'll
like
go
that?
with that. Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw that number out there. And speaking of numbers are out for the total attendance for the Miami International Boat Show.
100,000.
Oh,
I thought you were going to ask if we were going to make a guess.
well, I was.
Okay. All right. Well, then I read your mind. I just gave it. I think it was 100,000 people. What do you say, Barry?
Just totally kills the segment.
What do you mean? It's just a simple question. Barry, what do you think?
Now, hold on. Did you let me
I'm
do
not
the
saying
setup?
a word. You got to let him finish.
Good God, man.
Oh, jeez.
All right. The 2020 show, which was held at the Marine Stadium Marina, attracted 82,171 attendees.
Okay.
The 2019 show, which was at the the Marine Stadium Marina, drew 91,518 visitors. So we went from 91,000 to 82,000 to not having it due to the pandemic in 2021. This year, back at the convention center, did the numbers go up or did they go down?
Well, you know my feelings about it, because I already said. So, Barry, what about you?
I would say over 100,000.
Okay.
And Barry wins because it drew more than 100,000 visitors.
All right. Do we got an exact number, or what are they saying?
Drew more than 100.
Okay, I just said they don't.
Now, if there was an exact number, do you not think that I would have given it?
Look, I was there at 7 a.m. with my little clicker starting to click them as they went through, but I ran out of numbers.
Okay.
Patrick!
I swear.
We could tell it was going to be busy because when we were on the highway heading back, the highway was backed up for 2 miles just to exit to get to Alton Road.
Oh, yeah. It was
Miami Beach.
I'm still stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Right.
I cannot believe.
And you knew how busy it was going to be because hot dogs were $40.
Yeah. And this was on a Friday. It was busy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what the weekend was like.
Oh, I
heard he's pretty good in concert.
Who?
The Weeknd.
Oh, boy.
Nobody?
No one.
How
No.
old are you guys?
Wait a minute. I got to look this one up now.
I hear crickets somewhere. Maybe it's just in my head.
He performed at the Super Bowl halftime show 2 years ago.
Yeah, who cares? No one cares. All right. So anyway, that's good.
So-
That's good that the boat show was highly attended. I mean, I think I predicted that. I don't think it's rocket science to think that after a year hiatus and a big change and all the promotion they had that the show was going to do good. Plus, the weather cooperated pretty well over the weekend. That weekend as well. So
the weather was
good.
beautiful, and they expanded the offerings waterside. So in conjunction with there was so much to see that, as we talked about last week, when you're going to a show like that, if you're just kind of going down on a whim, and you're going to be, I think, somewhat disappointed. I think you have to set it up like, you're going to Disney World or Universal Studios, and you map it out,
plan your attack.
I mean, your entry to your exit. And one of the key things, if anybody's thinking about going down in the years coming forward, if you're planning on going waterside, either plan on going early, because the buses, as we talked about last week, when Barry and I came off, after being stuck in traffic for 2.5 hours.
That's because you don't know Miami when you were driving the bus.
That's true. Well, maybe those police cars were going the right way, and I was going the wrong way. That could have taken.
They weren't chasing you. Typically, they're chasing you, aren't they?
Typically, yes.
Right. Okay. Well, look, we'll talk more about that and get to this contraption for campers, boaters, and bikers next on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 PSI left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Imagine traveling twice as fast as you can drive. Imagine taking friends and family snorkeling, surfing, skiing, shopping, and more to exotic destinations. Imagine attending business meetings in cities far away and still making it home at night. Or just imagine exploring the wild blue yonder.
Quit dreaming about it and get to it. There has never been a better time to become a private pilot, and Flight Training Professionals in Orlando will show you how. Flight Training Professionals in Orlando is your full-service flight school. A state-of-the-art flight simulator, a fleet of the latest Cessna aircraft, and a staff of full-time seasoned flight instructors are just a few of the many reasons Flight Training Professionals in Orlando is the place to start your aviation adventure. Call 407-896-0077. That's 407-896-0077. Or go to ftpros.com. That's ftpros.com. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick Barry, the boater, rounding out the crew. We are broadcasting on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch today as well. And high def. Yeah, we actually kicked it up a notch. Last week was kind of like the test drive of the new computer system. This week we've actually turned up the detail a little bit. So it may be
you turned up the gain, Greg.
Yeah. We turned it up to 11. So hopefully we're more in focus, and we apologize in advance. You can see every flaw.
More in focus.
Despite all the editing that we did for Barry's interview, now you see him in higher detail. So it's kind of a wash.
Thank you.
All right.
I wanted to mention one thing before we go on.
Yeah.
If you really want to see the boat show and really enjoy it, you need to find a hotel in the general area so you could just walk there and then hop on your buses and go see, one in-water place early in the morning, starting there and spend the day there, and then the next day go to another place. That's the right way to do it. I mean, it's just so, it would be so much easier than driving. Driving really was, it wasn't that frustrating going there because I was there 2 hours before they even opened.
Right.
But, leaving was
you
amazing.
don't value sleep like Barry. It's no problem.
I still think we go with the ultimate suggestion from last week's show, and you parachute in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Parachute in, jetpack out.
Yeah.
Or private helicopter. Land on
that
the
would
roof
work.
of the convention center.
Yep.
Just have them come in, drop. Man, that would be worth it. And you would look like a boss.
You could rappel down the rope.
Okay. Well, just, get a hotel in one of the high rises there in Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Just jump out the window.
$800 a night. No worries.
Right.
World of Boating will deal with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or you just talk your way onto staying on one of the yachts. Hi, I'm Barry from World of Boating, and listen, really love to do a great write up and interview you guys about your boat here. I'm just gonna take a tour of the boat. You guys are getting ready to close up. Don't worry, I know my way out.
Right.
I'll watch the boat for you.
Yeah, he's tried this, and before he finished his question, security whisked in, and
they're very strong,
Yeah, they took him away as they should.
Who used the head?
Oh boy, more coming up on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
We have to stay away from the coast. Stay away from other people. Stay away from the other boats.
What then?
South. We circle down to San Diego.
Travis,
Marines at Pendleton, Navy at Coronado. Border Patrol. If they held the line anywhere.
The military are not going to help us.
You prefer the alternative?
Stop the damn boat. That's the alternative.
If I stop the boat, it'll be to drop folks off, not take them on.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Barry's a boater, rounding out the crew. All right, can we talk about this bike, boat, and camping contraption that crossed my path this week? Or do we still have more Miami International Boat Show coverage, Patrick? What do you think?
So the 2022 Miami Innovation Award winners were honored during the Discover Boating Miami International Boat Show. And there were 15 recipients, and want to run down that list and give them props. And if they happen to be listening, please respond to the emails that I sent you requesting interviews for upcoming World of Boating radio shows. So in the cabin cruisers, motor yachts, and trawlers division, Azimut Yachts took the award for their Grand Trideck. And that's grand with an E. You know it's fancy when they put an E on the end of grand.
Yeah.
With the little, when you go to the store and there's grand biscuits.
Well, and they call it a trideck.
E on the end.
Well, instead of 3-deck.
No, you can't. You don't ever use the terminology 3-deck in the marine business.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Okay.
That's bad juju. Do not do that. It's trideck, quad deck, quintuple deck.
Double deck.
You do not use the numbers. Center console walk around fishing boats. I was going to say boots because I was slipping into my Canadian accent. Center console walk around fishing boats. The Pursuit S428 Sport, according to Judge Lenny Rudeau, never before have I seen a fishing boat with such an incredible utilization of space that doesn't sacrifice fishability. Always important in a fishing boat.
This is a 42-foot boat.
This is the S428.
Well,
we don't refer to it in footage. That's bad juju.
Yeah, what is this?
You have to use the terminology in the press release.
And if you don't, what happens?
No,
They don't do an interview with us, Greg.
Okay, but I'm saying,
for God's sake, man.
But I'm
help
saying,
me out, would you?
Okay. Okay. So in theory, this is about a 42.8 foot boat, right?
Or 428 foot.
I doubt it.
Could be.
No, I've seen Pursuits. They make some beautiful boats, but
they do.
That is a big boat. If you can't find space in that boat, then there are some issues.
All right. Moving on to consumer electronics, mobile applications, and software. That's
Garmin,
a
right?
broad division. The Raymarine Cyclone solid state open array radar.
Wow.
Okay.
You sound surprised, Barry. Why?
Because Garmin seems to always sweep a lot of stuff with their technology. So,
well, then you shouldn't be
Raymarine-
surprised. You think it?
Yeah, I'm
Raymarine
surprised it wasn't Garmin.
staked them, huh?
Raymarine, they make good equipment, but I just was surprised that they hit it like
Okay,
that.
all right.
Nothing against Raymarine, but they have been playing catch up to Garmin for
a long
about
time.
15 years.
Yeah.
Cuddy cabin, bow rider, deck boats. The Ingenuity Electric 23. Its skateboard platform, which is an odd term for a boat, could be the start of a new generation of electric boats, said Judge Jones. It's
Judge Jones.
I'm
Sounds
reading
like
the
a
press
TV
release.
show.
So it's either Judge Jones or Judge Jones. I'm not sure which. I'm pretty sure not nominated to the U.S. Supreme Court. Deck equipment, Roswell Marine Rise Telescoping Helm System. Dual winner for docking and fendering equipment, Orenco Composites Duralast Floating Dock, and Sunstream Sunlift SLX. Now, in a category that Barry is full on excited about, electric motor, battery powered propulsion, E-Motion LLC, E-Motion Parallel, and serial hybrid systems. I'm not going to run down the rest of the list because Greg is going to get really, really
Fancy.
Yeah. Last two that I did want to touch base on, Outboard Engines, as expected, Mercury Marine 7.6 liter V12, 600 horsepower Verado outboard, which Barry got to see in person for the first time at the show.
Yeah. And
And-
that was just strange watching that little lower unit go back and forth and the engine sitting perfectly still.
And true statement, it's changed the way boat builders are designing their boats for this. If they are looking at offering this particular outboard only, otherwise it's not going to change a whole lot. Towboats, the Heyday H22. I missed this one while we were down there, but for towboats, that boat took the award. The list of all winners and those that were up for the award can be found at worldofboating.com or the World of Boating Facebook page.
All right. Well, were there any surprises from your perspective, Patrick, on that list, or were you kind of like, yeah, pretty good, they make good decisions, or what?
Yeah, I think a 428-foot center console was really kind of the surprise. I thought it was really kind of big for that category. But hey, bigger is better, right?
Can you imagine something like that? You
Hey,
like
listen.
you see a picture of this big 400-foot boat, and right in the middle is a little console.
If you
with a little bimini top,
Barry, if
a T-top,
if 15 years ago you had said, a quad or quintuple engine 60-foot center console or center helm, people would have said you're nuts. Nobody's going to buy that. If you had been talking about 15 years ago putting triple outboards on the back of a 42-foot sedan bridge cruiser, people would have been like, no, nobody's going to do that.
Well, you see with
There's no
5
market
engines,
for it.
and they have to actually put them on these jacks so that they all have the same, the lower units are all at the same, I guess, level.
Right. Depth. Yeah.
It's depth.
Well, yeah. So, or you have outboards with varying shaft lengths, as some builders opt to do as well. So, that whole market segment has changed in ways that, I remember back in the day in the early 90s, the company I worked for, we started building a 28-foot bow rider because one of our biggest dealers said, if you build a 28-foot bow rider, I can sell this boat in this area that they're located in. And they did, we did, and they did. And at the time, a 28-foot bow rider was like, you guys are out of your minds. Nobody's getting a 28-foot bow rider. That's crazy. Today, a 28-foot bow rider is nothing.
Yeah, and we were aboard them. That's where you hide that little sleeping berth, and you had the head on the other side with the.
Well, that was a 36.
Yeah,
so I mean, if you think about somebody talking 20 years ago, 25 years ago about building a 36-foot bow rider, they would have been like, for who? For what? Nobody wants that.
Well, that Go Fast boat we were on.
Oh yeah,
that's a bow rider.
Yeah, I mean, in effect, yeah. I mean, it's an open bow, I would say, versus a bow rider.
You put a couple of people there and doing 70 knots, their faces are going to be peeled back.
Yeah, that one's a roller coaster ride. I mean, even the seats were set up like what you would expect to find, on a roller coaster. Right. And it's the great thing about that boat was the rod holders, because nobody's fishing on that boat.
What ride are you guys talking about? Were you at the Miami Boat Show? You did that?
Yeah, we talked about it last week. You were there, Greg.
No, I was not.
During the show, you took part.
I'm not so sure about that.
No, he was learning.
That was the tape. That was the Midnight Express. Yeah. We were on the Midnight Expresses by the cigarette booth, and by cigarette I mean cigarette racing, not cigarettes.
Got it.
But yeah, that was it's just amazing the way that what the consumer really wants, and that's what is driving it. How that has really radically changed in what boat builders are putting out there, and that 600 horsepower Verado is going to not only in the applications for that, but the service intervals, which we talked about when we had the rep on from Mercury Marine. That main cowling doesn't come off for the first 100 hours or 200 hours.
Yeah,
it was something crazy like that, and the cowling's got these access doors that come up that you can for checking your basic fluids and stuff like that. But that main cowling doesn't come off. And for most people, on a boat like that, 200 hours, you're probably a couple years, 3 years in.
There you go. That's a good thing. Less maintenance, less problems. That's a good design quality. More coming up on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the world of boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Look, you may not be book smart or history smart, but you're throw people off the boat smart. And frankly, I'm starting to think that's the best kind to be.
Oh, they built the ship Titanic, and when they had it through, they thought they had a ship that the water would not go through. But the good Lord held his hand, so of course it could not stand. It was sad when that great ship went down. It was sad. It was sad. It was sad. It was sad. It was sad when that great ship went down
to the bottom of the sea.
Husbands and wives, little children lost their lives. It was sad when that great ship went down.
This is the world of boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick Barry, the boater, rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information. And all right, so we got to get to the story now. We can get to this camper, bike, boat contraption that crossed my desk this week, can't we, Patrick? Come on, help me out here. Yes? No?
He really wants one.
Well, I mean, Barry is a biker as well as a boater.
Also coming out of the Miami Beach Boat Show.
Oh, was it there? It was there, really?
No. All right, go ahead, Greg. I just, I tried to stem the tide as long as I could. So
That's
I
right.
apologize to the listeners in advance, as Greg would say. Take it away, Greg.
Okay, this is called the Z Triton. Do I got that right, Barry? You saw this.
Yes, you do.
Now, when this came across my desk, through my email on a press release, I was thinking of Barry because he is a boat. He's a boater, but he's also a biker. I mean, when I bike, I mean like power bike, not like a motorbike, which is what Patrick does.
Cycling bike.
Cycling, yes. So this thing actually is run. I mean, it's like has an electric bike contraption hooked up to it, so it has electric power put into it, but it'll like sleep two people, but
very small people.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I've seen it. I mean, it's like you can get two sleeping bags back to back on it. When I watched the video, and you check it out, Z-Triton, z-triton.com. But it's kind of wild looking, but it kind of looks like one of those pull carts, a cyclist pull cart that you'd find at the Miami Boat Show when your feet hurt, and they'll ride you out to your car where you're parked, 2 miles away.
Okay.
And it kind of looks like one of those, right? But it's covered. It has solar power. It has electric power for the bikes. You can, ride this around like a bike, and with a trailer on the back of it. Put some stuff in there.
You pedal this bike.
Yeah.
You don't ride it. So I mean, and it has electric power. It has solar panels. It has a range of 2 days, 50 kilometers on the land plus 20 kilometers in the water.
Right. It floats. You can take the thing right off of the dock there and take it into a lake or whatever and putz around the lake and stuff. It's kind of wild.
If you could find places that have paved roads for bikes or paved trails, this would probably be good for taking out on a trail. Then you come across water, you just turn it into a boat and go out on the water
out there and do some fishing, or
live out there during the zombie apocalypse.
Well, I mean, I was thinking you go out there and you could anchor out on the boat overnight or out on the water.
It has more enclosed space than my boat right now. I used a tarp last time, and that didn't work so well. So I was talking to Captain Patrick about the old times when boats were 18 foot and they had cuddy cabins.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
When we were sailing for Queen Elizabeth.
Right. The steamboats
going out to conquer the world.
It's very odd looking. It's kind of like across, we're based here in Orlando on Lake Eola. They have those swan boats that you can go and rent.
Stop it.
It does. It looks like one of the.
Just stop.
Yeah.
It's a little boxy. I would have thought they would have put more curve into it.
Let's talk seriously about this Z Triton.
Okay. And by the way, it's supposed to go out on Kickstarter here soon, or they're in the process of doing that, and they expect it to go for about $15,000 there in that ballpark.
Quickly we'll be getting kicked to the curb. But here's the pros and cons of this. One, I see it appealing to people who are interested in ecotourism, or ecotourism or companies that are setting themselves up in that business. This gives you for guided tours, things like that, where you don't want to be out on, a fossil fuel burning type of excursion. This has got the appeal for that. Also, over in Europe, where you have your lakes that don't allow for fossil fuel burning boats, this has got the appeal for that as well. So certainly, if you've got, you want to go out, the Everglades came to mind. Barry and I were talking during the break. Certainly something like that. Certainly, I don't think it's something that you want to use in a saltwater environment.
No, this is definitely for enclosed waters.
So a couple of the drawbacks. One, you have to be aware that the seated height for the bike is very tall. And when you're biking this, the front wheel, you're basically positioned over the front wheel. That's where you're steering from. And that is basically the stern of the boat. Okay. So you bike to where you want to go, and then it goes in the water, and basically it goes in as is. What I didn't see was area for doing the unmentionable.
That whole waterway is the unmentionable area.
Not if you're into ecotourism, you cannot pollute the waters that you are on. So
the fish do it.
What I didn't see was bathroom facilities or how you go about doing that. Your sleeping area, it's two people.
It's called the water bottle, Patrick. I don't know what you're talking about.
Two people of European size.
Don't drink that!
About 5'6".
Yes.
And about 120 pounds each, and you will be fine.
Okay. Yeah, Barry's going to get one.
Concept, but I don't see it going anywhere. Certainly not for the water.
Triton.com. Check it out. I think it's kind of unique and
It'll be
different.
in Greg's
Who knows?
backyard next week.
Maybe. Could be. Could happen. All right, and we'll wrap it up with that this week. Remember, whether it's sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab. World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
the opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.